You know, I find Instagram pretty funny because it seems to me that the minute I actually start charging for my service, all of a sudden everybody wants to call my images and my video trash for some reason or another. I'm really trying to, figure that part out. But the minute I start doing free rounds of photography, all of a sudden all my stuff is like really good. I'm trying to understand the balance between the two. So recently I put a post stating what my service is going to be. So for an individual part, it's going to be is about $300 for some photos. And the baseline is $20 per photo. So you multiply that by 20, that would be $400. But I actually knocked off $100 as a discount. So you get $15 a photo times 20, so that's $300. I think it was like $4.99 for video because I do have to do a lot of editing. Then there's a business portion where it's $4,500 for videos or photos, and then I think it was like $8,000 for video. So the reason why I put that stuff, one is I did at a market rate, and two, I mean, I'm not going to charge like above like pretty much anybody else because this is market rate prices. I think I had put it somewhere on this video, wherever it is. Two, I'm not going to change if I were to charge $20 per photo all the way through, it would be all the way up to like $10,000. I'm not going to do all that because I'm not the type of person that would jip people. So when people come onto my Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff, start saying that my stuff is trash, and that's the kind of thing that doesn't make sense because first of all, you guys are coming to me, so I'm going to charge you for the service. Now, if I initiate the whole thing and say, hey, everything is, I'm doing a free round of this and free round of that, then that's where the free stuff comes in. But it's I don't know, people are so weird when it comes to that. I swear to God, I don't understand that. So anyway, I'm not the type of person that's going to sit there and insult somebody based on what type of creativity that they do, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's video, whether it's photos, I don't know, painting, whatever it is. You really shouldn't be trashing somebody else's art because of how they're basically crafting it. So it doesn't make any sense to me at all. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming to my channel. If you guys are watching this on Instagram, it's Black Lion Stills. If you're watching it on Facebook, Village Lions. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's Mag320, Mag320. I decided to come out here and I wanted to actually talk about that because somebody on my Instagram page kind of upset me a little bit, so I actually kind of just went turbo on this just to speed this whole thing up. I'm actually talking to you on a Sony AX5 III camcorder, and this does most of my video for YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm not really doing TikTok, but welcome to my channel, and for those of you who are long-time followers, welcome back. Basically for Instagram, what I'm going to be doing is professional photography as well as professional video. I am going to be going into short films and things like that, so definitely make sure to destroy the follow button on Instagram and make sure you destroy the like button on YouTube. This video is going to be going across all three platforms, except for TikTok. I still have to figure out TikTok because that one's a little bit more random. So with that said, so the premise behind this is I'm going to be definitely taking a lot of photos and video. I'm working. I got like 25 people that actually hit me up from Raleigh, Charlotte, Fayetteville, which is first. Charleston's another one, Greenville. So I'm getting a lot of models that are coming in. So I'm going to be doing photography first, which is going to be the daytime. And the premise of that is I'm going to be doing this for a living. Now, with that said, I've actually been doing photography for a long time. I just haven't done it super professionally. So I actually just started this recently. For my Instagram account, that's actually only 5.5 months old, and I've already been getting tens of thousands of views on certain photo collections, and especially this most recent one. Unfortunately, I do have to pay for the advertising, which is like $10 a day. I can afford $10 a day. But what I'm saying is that there's going to be a lot of models that's going to be coming in and all that fun stuff, so I'm going to be working with them. Started with 3, and the 3 that I've been working with so far, they've been the utmost helpful to me, and so now we got 25, and I have no idea how far this is going to go. So definitely stay tuned for that, and make sure, like I said, make sure you hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit that little bell, make sure that you be the first one to know exactly when everything's going to drop. Now, with that said, as far as the short film goes, that one's still in the back burner. I already know I've already done hundreds of videos, especially for YouTube vlogs and music videos on that. So I already know how to make the video and produce and write and direct and do this and that and third. But I've actually had put that on hold for the time being because now I'm discovering Instagram for what it is. Mainly, I'm putting a lot of my music on SoundCloud SoundCloud, and a lot of my stuff, which is plugs, is on Zazzle. The thing about Zazzle is when you put merchandise on there, they do the print on demand and all that stuff. They're a big company. Thing about it is that they come at premium prices. So I haven't really kind of promote that stuff. I'm looking for like a cheaper vendor for that. So if you know somebody that sells like half the price, then hit me up so I can take a look at that. So this is gonna go on Turbo. Now that I have the space for it, some of you guys already know that I have a townhouse and an SUV. The townhouse is like $1,600 a month. I don't recommend anybody to get a townhouse unless you actually have the funding for it. You actually have to like have almost like anywhere between $49,000 and $5,000 worth of income in order for that to happen. My SUV, Dodge Durango 2021 Dodge Durango, white SUV. That's $900 a month. Again, $900 a month. I don't recommend this purchase unless you're really looking to, do a lot of utilitarian stuff like me. When you become a professional, it's less about your craft and more about logistics. You have to make sure everything's set up the way it's supposed to be, and you have to do it repetitively. That's the part of professionality of it. You're going to see more of me, especially edited video. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be coming on. I'm trying to keep this down to like probably around 10 minutes. I'm also going to be using my Osmo Pocket, DJI Osmo Pocket, to do some of the more portable stuff. I did notice that a lot of people seem to think that I use my phone, any of my phones, to take portraits and photography and things. I'm going to tell you right now, I refuse to use phones to take photography. One, because it's an insult to photographers. Not to mention, the files don't correctly transfer over from iPhones to Premiere Pro. I don't know what it is with that. But I still can't seem to figure it out, because a lot of the video that comes from iPhone, they come up with in a strange format, and it kind of screws the whole thing up. Now photos, I might be able to get away with the photos, but even then it doesn't. The iPhones as well as Androids, they don't do exactly what I want from it. It doesn't have the depth of field. It doesn't have that depth of field of what I'm looking for it to have. In addition to like shades and filters and things like that, it doesn't have those functions that I want for it to have. So that's why I have a Nikon, I have Sony cameras. I have cameras that are dedicated to take photos of video. I can't do that with smartphones. I really can't. I can't do that with smartphones. That's in addition to being an insult. It's like, if you see somebody, if you go to a wedding and say, "Hey, I'm a photographer," and they pull out an iPhone, nobody's going to respect you because you got an iPhone. You might be able to get away with it with a point and shoot camera, like I have a Sony a Sony DSC RX 107. That cost me like $1,300, or no, I'm sorry, was it $1,200? Anywhere between $1,100 and $1,200, but I bought it like years ago. You might be able to get away with that, but you won't be able to take as good of photos as if you had like a Canon, a Nikon, a Hasselblad, Fujifilm. Maybe if you can get away with that. Bigger Sony cameras, you have to have like $1,000, $1,200, $1,400, sometimes $2,000 cameras to take the photos that you want. Smartphones are not going to do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Smartphones are not. They're not going to do it. They can claim. They can take clear photos. They don't have the depth of field. They don't have the filters. They don't have like certain settings where it's like you want. It doesn't. It has the zoom feature, but it doesn't have the type of zoom feature where it's like it can find certain things to zoom in on. So that's why I don't use smartphones like that. Now I do have 2 iPhone 15 Pro Maxes. I got iPads. I got the 2 iPhone 14s. All of them I bought from AT&T. I got 14 Android phones. I got all kinds of phones. I can't use them. I can't use the camera function because it doesn't work the way I want it to. The reason why I say this, like I said, somebody upset me a little bit. They seem to think that I'm some boomer that took it on an iPhone 11 or whatever it is. No, it doesn't work like that with me. That's why I've always put into the comments saying, this is what I use. This is what I use. This is what I did in post-production. The second thing is, when it does come up in post-production, the only few things I will do is lighting, color grading, or should I say RGB grading, black points, maybe do something about the overexposure or underexposure or something like that, or filters. I will not modify photos anywhere past that point. I'm going to keep it original. You have to take this out and put this in. No, I'm not. I'm not going to alter the original photos. It's going to be color grading, light grading, color, contrast, lighting, and exposure. That's the only thing I'm going to touch. I'm not touching anything else because it takes a lot of time to edit those kind of photos, edit those kind of videos, and you have to do it over, and it takes hours to do that, and that's a pain. It's a pain in the ass, dude. That's why I'm not doing that kind of stuff. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to keep editing to a minimum because I take, for every shoot that I do, I take, if it's not hundreds of photos, it's thousands of photos. I take, I say anywhere between 500 and 2,000 photos per session. I don't have time to go back and edit them all. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to make an attempt to do is actually take those photos and send it directly to them without any real editing, so they can go and edit it themselves without me actually doing things. So when they decide to post on Instagram, all they have to do is edit themselves, post it, and tag me. So I really don't have to do anything. That's basically the point. If it does come down to editing, it's probably because it's definitely noticeable, and it needs to be a lot of stuff. I pretty much edit just on the iPhone, but if I really have to, I'll put it in I'll throw it into Photoshop, or I put it into Lightroom, DaVinci, or Premiere Pro, or After Effects, or something like that to make it look a little better than what it is. But largely, I try to keep the editing to a minimum because it takes a lot of time to basically perfect it, and I just don't have the time for that. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the time for that. I have 3 jobs, okay? 2 are security guard jobs. I actually had a work from home job, but they have this zero tolerance rule on some technicality, which is, I thought was stupid. So I wanted to pick up a job at Best Buy, which is weird. So I still have 3 jobs, in addition to doing things like this. But this is always going to be my passion. Somebody asked me if I'm going to monetize Instagram. Yes, but the condition is I have to have 10,000 followers. That's what I have to have. So once I get past 10,000 followers, then I will be able to start monetizing this stuff. The monetization from Instagram is going to take care of the advertising permanently. So it's basically what's known as a business reinvestment. I guess that's the word for it. Some of y'all call it boss moves, but I'm just like, this is a business reinvestment. Stop making it complicated than basically what it is. So the next thing is that here I'm going to show you the camera that I use. So as you guys know, this is the D810 with a 24 millimeter to a 24 millimeter to 120 millimeter lens. I actually just got this about a few weeks ago, and I actually like the lens itself. This is a D810. I'm trying to use. The other camera that I previously showed you was a D5600. That was actually an enthusiast camera. This is a professional full frame camera with a full frame lens. So this is part 1 of it. The next lens is a telephoto lens. This goes from 150 to 600. So I can easily shoot up to like 5 or 6 blocks with this. It's a really nice big lens. I'm not going to say it's as big as my face, but the lens I also bought. Now this one's like $500, and then the sun filter that's on here is $230. Is $230 for this lens here, or not lens, but the sun filter. So $500 for this, $230 for this. So that's about $750 worth of equipment that you're looking at so far. The last lens actually cost me $250. As you can see right there, it says $250 on it. This specific lens is more short-sighted. It goes from 16 to 28. This specific lens, when you're doing real estate or close range or anything of that nature. So these 3 lenses are all full frame. I have other types of gear that can scale up or scale down. Doesn't necessarily matter. I got a strap here too. I have to fix the strap every once in a while because it keeps screwing up on me. So these 3 lenses will basically capture almost every shot known to man. Well, you don't have the 130. I can get another lens for that. That's with my D5600. That's put away for the time being. But these 3 lenses basically what I use. So because I've worked with these lenses, I already know exactly how these lenses are supposed to work. There's also this thing right here that puts on a tripod. Some of you know that, some of you don't. This is basically a stabilizer in between the camera and the tripod, or monopod if you have one of those. But these are the 3 lenses that I use. I'm going to always continue using these lenses. And this is the Sony DSC RX107. This one pops out. So you have a screen that, I might have to turn it on here. So that is basically the lens. So that is the lens right. So this is $1,200. I'm not sure if they still have it on sale or not. If they do, there's probably an updated one for it. You put that onto a lanyard, and you just throw it around your neck or on your hands or anything like that. This is a really good camera. It has, I believe it's 20 times zoom, if not 30 times zoom. And then the two cameras I'm talking to you on right now is the Sony AX53, which is one that you're seeing me on, and then I have two of those. Those are $1,300 a piece. With that said, this is what's going. This is some of the gear I'm going to be using. The Osmo Pocket. I'm going to be using that also as well to do vlogs on. I'm going to start doing more edited videos instead of just like doing text and things like that, because I want for you guys to see my face a little bit more. I do a lot of cyberpunk stuff because I am into cyberpunk. It's basically a 2077 version of steampunk. I'm into steampunk stuff, cyberpunk stuff like that. I just not as much as some of the folks that are older than me that also are into this stuff. But I'm a cyberpunk person because I love computers. This kind of computers, music, video, photo, all this stuff is sort of kind of married to each other. So this is the kind of stuff that I do. This is like one of my arts. I do a lot of graffiti stuff, but I'll talk about that later. So this is what I do, and I love doing it. What I'm saying is that I'm not going to get mad at folks for basically trashing what I do, but at the same time I'm not going to listen to all the negative comments out there. I would be like Jimi Hendrix. Positive and negative comments sort of kind of distract me a little bit, but not quite. I love when folks actually praise my work, or should I say support my work. It pushes me forward. But the negative comments kind of like it kind of irks you a little bit, and kind of hits the nerve a little bit. But it I still try to take it with a grain of salt, but because it pushes me harder to do better work. So whatever, it doesn't really matter. My thing is that there are people out there that actually do look up to me, that actually is looking into doing something like this. So this is why I try to display my work. You are going to see, like I said, you are going to be seeing more videos from me. So just definitely, like I said, hit the follow button, destroy the like button. Make sure you hit the notifications. I believe it's like either top of the page or part of the page. I can't exactly remember what it was, but like I said, it's going to go through all three platforms. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing shorts or not, but definitely stay tuned. So once again, it's Black Lion Stills on Instagram. Also Cyberpunk Rebellion, or Cybercat Rebellion. There's a couple of others I can't think of the names of. If you're going on YouTube, it's Mag320. I wouldn't worry about Facebook too much. I might be able to make a page or something like that. I don't know. All right. I will see you guys at the next video.